Welcome, Immortal Beloveds, to the Dawna Cosmic podcast, where we discuss what it means to live multi-dimensional with authenticity. Let's go. November 11th, 2024, episode 11. Thanks for tuning in. Love having you here. This is an alchemical spiritual follow-up to my previous podcast, number 10, titled The Risks of Private Groups. You can find it on my YouTube channel, Dawna Cosmic, under podcasts. I shared my direct experiences within the past 2 years, with the most recent of being targeted, bullied, and violently accosted, and how it's important that we don't let the word magic of others stop us from taking care of ourselves. When someone labels something they did or didn't do because they lack the courage to do the right thing and they're ashamed of themselves, they'll label what they did or didn't do as private. What they're actually doing is trying to hide something to avoid exposure. There is such a thing as privacy. I know because I live a private life. There's a huge difference between living privately and behaving badly or poorly, and then using the label of private to hide behind. When people behave badly or poorly, those are the things we never need to keep private. Those are the things we actually need to expose. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the alchemy behind the scenes, the spiritual workings for all involved in that more recent experience from episode 10 of my podcast, which is a lot of magic. So stay tuned in. This could shed light on your own experience. Okay, so you've heard the saying, rejection is God's protection. Well, that's just one of the magical things that happened in this experience. I'll expand on that more when I get to the part where I discuss the magic that I ordered. And yes, we order magic all the time. Okay, first let's talk about the perpetrator. I was their karma, point blank. I was never triggered. They were. What we give out returns to us, and I know for a fact that the perpetrator never had anyone confront them in the way that I did, in such a calm, collected, non-reactive, truthful manner. And I know that truth I spoke hurt, even though that truth was good for their soul. I could tell clearly by the way they were behaving that they had behaved that way many, many times before and had never been called out on their behavior in the way I had done it. I could tell by their face that no one had ever been as bluntly truthful with them as I was in those hours alone together in that car. What I said to this perpetrator was for their ears only and for their soul only. So I'll leave that there. I was their karma. And that karma they ordered is a gift that will keep on giving to them until balance is restored. That's the magic that got delivered to them, or more truthfully, the magic they delivered to themselves through their choices and actions. Next, let's talk about the host, the accomplice to the perpetrator. I'm sure the host did not think of themselves as an accomplice to the perpetrator, but that's exactly what they made themselves to be when they made their choices to handle or not handle the situation the way that they did. Whether the host knew they were playing accomplice or not doesn't matter. That's the energy they brought to the equation. That's what the energy says, and energy doesn't lie. And again, energy has to balance out. When this host became aware of the situation, that was a call, an invitation for them to follow pure love, not anything else. It was an opportunity for them to look inside of their soul and see what lower energies needed to be released from them and what higher energies were wanting to come forth from love. And they didn't. They missed it. They missed the call. As a result, they now have to balance out the misquantified energy that they gave out in that situation. All of that misquantified energy can blow up in their experience in so many different forms, all for the purposes of balancing out the energy. I wouldn't call it karma in their case. I'd call this magic, a balancing of energies. That's the magic that they ordered. And I don't have to be there to witness how that energy balances itself out in their experience. As a matter of fact, I don't want to see it. Their soul journey has nothing to do with me, and they made sure of that. Watching balancing energy in action gives me no satisfaction, zero. Finally, there's me. The magic I ordered was to bring darkness into light. Mission accomplished. I was to be also someone's karma. That mission also accomplished. I recognized the invitation to be someone's karma almost immediately because I was never triggered. And to me, that's magic in and of itself. The fact that I saw the invitation and in that precise moment directly acted on it, that's awesome. All right, there's multi-layers to this. So at the beginning of this podcast, I mentioned that saying, rejection is God's protection. There was a time when I used to think that if I had to walk away from a person, place, or thing, or a person, place, or thing walked away from me, that it was a horrible, painful, terrible experience. Now I know the truth of the matter, and I'm going to share it with you. Maybe my share will help you come to terms with or have peace about a recent or past parting of the ways with a person, place, or thing from your own experience. Whenever a person, place, or thing is removed or removes itself from our experience, it is because we are no longer a vibrational match to that person, place, or thing. We are loved so much. You, beloved, are loved so much that if we don't remove ourselves from what no longer serves our highest good, then it will be removed for us by spirit. When that happens, we don't have to understand it. We don't have to fight it or fight against it. We don't have to struggle with it at all. All we need to know is that our vibration has raised in amplitude. Our frequency is now vibrating at a higher octave, and those people, places, and things must be cleared out of our experience to make the space for what does match our vibration to come into our experience. It's not a loss. And you are loved so much, beloved, that when this happens, that is spirit removing you to protect you. It does not have to make any sense to the logical mind, and in fact, it won't in most cases at all. Just know that when we endeavor to take on doing our hard work, people, places, and things are going to change as we change. The alchemical laws will always be working in such a way that it's resonance or dissonance, either one, resonance or dissonance. If that experience hadn't happened and all of that energy hadn't blown up as it did in my situation, then I would have been keeping myself attached to energies that no longer matched my vibration, and I would have paid that price sooner or later. That situation had to happen so that every vibration, dense or otherwise, could come to light, so that all involved could see the vibrations for what they were. Seeing the energy play out visibly is required at times because not all of us read subtle, unseen energies. For myself, I had to see what I had been attaching my energy to. And when spirit wants to work with us for something specific, it will create scenarios that show us what energy we're working with, especially if spirit places a call upon our heart. Spirit will remove us from the people, places, and things to get us alone so that spirit can work directly one-on-one with us to make sure that we are a clear vessel for receiving and delivering spiritual information. As I said, that's a lot of magic that was at play. What I know is everyone played their part perfectly and everyone received exactly what they needed. I'll leave you with the quote that I shared in episode 10. Never forget it. It has served me well, so cement it into your psyche. The quote says, I judged myself by my intentions while the world was judging me by my actions. Man is an immortal being intended to express as light full frequency, and the highest vibration man can live is being the authentic self. As we wrap up today's journey into the spiritual and occult realms, remember, the mysteries we explored are only the beginning of a deeper personal exploration. Whether you're seeking wisdom, enlightenment, or simply understanding, the path is uniquely you. Keep questioning and allow the hidden truths of the universe to unfold their magic within you. May your mind stay free, your body stay healthy, and your spirit remain true. See you next episode.